Hi, my name is Sowino. I do videos around cooking, farming, and homesteading in general.
So today we've come to check on the progress of the house. Uh, the walls are supposed to be done by today, and then most of them are done. The outside wall, so it's just remaining a very little bit. And then also I'll be going to check on the garden, how the plants are doing. Also another thing, this area in the front of the house, the digging has not yet been cleared, so we want to make sure like the whole place is done.
Yeah,
I think basically that's it. And then what will we be remaining with?
I think from there we'll see what we can be doing. But hopefully, the big thing for today is the walls and checking on the garden, and then maybe the compound. Since that one will take a little bit more time, we will be checking and updating you.
Yeah, but I'm happy that this front part is done.
Yes, it's not visible there, but yeah, it's done to the top. But there are some areas it's not yet completely done. So yeah,
And then another thing, when the everything is done, we need thorough cleaning in this place.
yeah,
Thorough cleaning because there is like everything everywhere, and yeah, almost moving in. Let's say that if tukimaliza tu hivi, hopefully, right?
yes. But I think we're still not
Not
close,
not
but
close.
but yeah, hopefully,
The dream is big.
yeah.
Yeah. So show you where we've got to, and then we show you the garden, and then you've already seen where the front porch has reached.
Today turned out to be a really good day, even though we got to the site much later than usual. Normally, we are here bright and early by 7 a.m., but this time we pull in the afternoon. To our surprise, most of the wall clearing had already been done. The progress was encouraging. The recent rains have honestly been a blessing. We are grateful because despite the weather changes, the work hasn't slowed down. The house is standing proud, roof in place, and the wall sections are finally getting their full fill. If you remember, we had only done the first round of the wall filling up to about 3/4 of the height. The plan was to leave the top part until the lower section had time to set. That was intentional, to avoid any risk of the whole thing weakening or collapsing. And now that the base is nice and firm, they're back at it, sealing up the final section properly. As we walked around the house, you could really see how much it's come to life. Starting from the left side, this is where you notice the depth of the structure. The walls are almost fully packed now, and you can clearly make out the window spaces taking shape. The makuti roof beautifully overhangs, giving that classic homestead charm and a good shed line. Moving to the front, it's starting to look more and more like a real home. You can already imagine a small porch area, and the layout of the door and windows really opens up the space. That front section will definitely be the welcoming face of the house. On the right side, you'll notice the same technique all around, with the fill-up catching up slowly. Some parts are firmer than others, but that's expected at this stage. The sun has done a good job drying up sections, and you can already tell which areas were worked on earlier just by how they started to settle. Let's keep walking so I can show you more closely. Now, as we made our way around the house, I noticed more soil being added through the window. It seemed that the one they had was already used and finished. As I walked into the house, I slowed down, without meaning to. The front rooms, all of them, were now filled right to the top. The kitchen, the living space, the toilet, all of it stood complete, with walls that looked firm and full. And then I looked up. That roof, I know, I've shown it to you before, maybe too many times, but now that it's fully done, it honestly deserves a moment. The lines, The way it frames the space, the care in every joint, you'll have to forgive me if I keep bringing it up. It just changes the entire feel of the place. The house feels like it's breathing differently now, like it finally has a crown. Do you remember when the team was still packing soil into these rooms? At the time, I kept thinking, this soil is definitely enough. It seemed like there was more than we would even need. Big mounds outside, and wheelbarrow after wheelbarrow coming in. But look, it all got used. Every bit of it found its place in these walls. And just when I thought you would be left with a surplus, now they're back outside, digging into a fresh patch, refilling the wheelbarrows for the remaining areas at the back. Seeing what was taken from the ground, slowly building this home, one layer at a time. I continued walking, moving from one room to the next, taking in how much had already been done. When we reached the last rooms at the back, the walls on the end hadn't been cleared yet. That's where the team was focused now, making sure the soil was packed in properly and evenly. They were still adding more, filling up the spaces that hadn't been touched in the morning. Just to be clear again, this isn't the final look of the walls. What you're seeing now is just the first stage. We still have more layers to add later on to make sure everything ends up looking clean, straight, and properly finished. And from the back side of the house, you could clearly see the progress. The structure looked more solid now, with all the front rooms fully packed and just that one room at the back remaining. The men looked exhausted. You could tell the day had been long, but their effort showed in every part of the house. You could see them adding soil through the window of the last room, one scoop at a time, using a spade, making sure they finished that section before calling it a day. It was the final stretch, and even in their tiredness, they stayed focused on getting it done. We had grown so accustomed to seeing the Makuti guys up on the roof every day, working away, that it almost felt like they had always been there. Now that they were done and had left, it really hit me just how much they had accomplished. It felt like they had been working on it for forever, with each day blending into the next, the same task being repeated over and over. But when we actually counted the days, it had only been just under 2 weeks. Looking at the roof now, it was clear the work they put in was worth it. No regrets at all in choosing this team. They did an excellent job, and the roof really shows it. It seemed like that wall needed more soil, so the men kept adding more of it, so it could be mixed with water and rice straw, just like the rest of the walls. One man worked outside, adding soil through the window, while inside, others were mixing the soil, water, and rice straw together. The final step was packing the mixture into the fito, filling up the wall until it reached the top. I really appreciate all of you who join us every day to watch this beautiful home come together. If it's your first time here, welcome. We are so glad to have you as part of our family. Let us know where you're watching from, and feel free to share what you love about this build so far. We are always excited to hear from you. For those of you who are new, we have a full playlist documenting the entire process, from day one all the way to where we are now. If you're curious about how the roof came together, how we started with the wall frames, and everything in between, it's all in the playlist. I'll add a link card so you can easily check it out and catch up on the journey. Also, if you'd like to reach out to me directly with any questions or inquiries, my number and email address are listed in the channel description. Feel free to get in touch anytime. I'm happy to help. I really appreciate all the comments you have shared to help with the garden. Thank you so much for taking the time. Some of the plants had already started standing up on their own, and that gives me hope that things are heading in the right direction. Someone mentioned that I should have dug deeper holes when planting, and I truly appreciate that feedback. To be honest, I followed the advice I was given at the market on the same day I bought the seedlings. But it's true, people learn from their mistakes, and I'm definitely learning from mine. And I know I'll do better next time when planting or replanting new seedlings. Some of the leaves had dried out, so I crushed and plucked them off. It's important to remove those dead or dry leaves because they can take up nutrients and energy the plant needs to grow stronger. Clearing them out helps the plant focus its energy on new healthy growth. Overall, I'm hopeful that the garden will keep improving as I learn more. I plan to read more gardening books and watch more gardening videos to expand my knowledge. If you know of any good books or YouTube gardeners that you would recommend, please share them in the comments. I will really appreciate it. I will be taking care of this garden the same way you'll take care of a newborn, with full attention and patience. I'm paying close attention to what we eat regularly and what we don't, so that we can plan the garden around our actual needs. For the things we don't use often, we'll plant less of those, and instead focus on growing more of what we truly enjoy and use often in our meals. We are also planning to add more plants to the garden. I think I mentioned that before. We didn't manage to get all the seedlings we needed, but we have decided to buy seeds for some of them instead. That way, we can plant them ourselves and learn about each one right from the very beginning. It's not just about following what people say or assuming what works. We want to understand every stage of the plants we grow. Each day is a learning experience, and I honestly feel so grateful to be going through it right here at home. I am still at the beginning, so I wouldn't say I have learned a lot yet. But even in these early days, I'm starting to notice things. Small changes, small mistakes, small wins. Each one is teaching me something new, and it makes me want to keep going and understand this garden better with time. Since we came in a bit later than usual today, we weren't able to show you everything from the start, and I wish I could show you that part. I've seen your comments asking for more content, and I'll do my best to share longer videos when I can. We really thank God for how far we've come, and I can't thank you enough for walking this journey with us. Your support means everything. I'm just as excited as you are to see this house take shape, to see all the walls finished, and finally move in and start a new chapter of life here. The progress we've made together is something I will always be grateful for, and it's amazing to see how much we've accomplished so far. And what makes it even more special is knowing that we're doing it together, not that this has grown into a real community. That's all for today, guys. We left the men finishing up the walls as we moved on to other tasks. Kindly click the subscribe button, leave a like, and let us know your thoughts about the house in the comments. I can't wait to share more with you. Bye. We shall try again tomorrow.